Joining us now, veteran political journalist Hank Plant on set to discuss the verdict and possible ramifications. We're so fortunate to have you here. Thank you.
Great to be with you.
Yeah. Let's talk about this a bit. There was some cheering and some celebrating, but there was also some disbelief, outrage, and people saying this is a setup. Does this solidify Trump's base, kind of what Bianca touched on a bit, and divide us even more?
Oh, I think so. I think that this really does solidify his base and gives them a boost. At the same time, you could say the same thing about Biden supporters who can now say, we told you so. I think the real impact of today is going to be on independent voters and undecided voters. And I want to take a local example. Let's look at Palm Desert, okay? In 2016, Trump won Palm Desert by 1.9%, beating Hillary Clinton. In 2020, Biden won Palm Desert, beating Trump by almost 7%. So you have the same city, the same pool of voters swinging pretty dramatically from one way to the other. It shows you that how up for grabs an election can be.
Let's get into the history, Hank, and you can call yourself an historian along with being a veteran journalist for all these years. You've interviewed 5 presidents. Yeah. So given the opportunity tonight, what would you ask former President Trump? What would you ask current President Biden?
That's interesting. I think that I would ask President Biden, have you been pulled too far to the left? Because Biden has been a moderate his whole life. I mean, he wrote the crime bill, for heaven's sake, which was a pretty conservative piece of legislation when he was in the Senate. But when you look at what he's done on immigration, I mean, that he was pulled by the Bernie Sanders forces to do his immigration policy. President Trump, I would probably ask him something like, you know, you've spent 4 years undermining the election process and now the judicial process. Have you done permanent damage to the country? I like to ask provocative questions because too much agreement can spoil a chat, right?
There you go.
But also on that note, so does the conviction today hurt Republicans who are in office now, running for office, thinking about running for? Does this give, I don't know, Democrats a leg up across the state, locally?
That's a great question, Karen, and I think the answer is yes, it does hurt local Republicans. They don't want to be talking about this. They want to be talking about their own issues in their own districts. They want to be talking about Biden's failures in their eyes, and now they're going to be forced to talk about this.
Former President Ford retired here in the desert. We all had a chance to get to know him through the years. Yeah. He ended our national nightmare so many years ago by pardoning Richard Nixon.
Yes.
Of course, they were the same party. Here you have political enemies. Is there any way forward to kind of have a healing moment?
That's up to Mr. Trump. I think that the answer is yes, we can do it, but everybody's in their silos right now. They're in their political tribes, and it's not going to be this is not going to be ending anytime soon. Yeah.
And so, so where do we go from here? And that is, we have a contentious political season ahead.
I think it's going to be, and I think we're stuck with this for a while until maybe till things get back to the middle a little bit, which is where most voters are.
Hank Plant, thank you so much for joining us.
Nice to see you.
We always appreciate you.
Thanks.